Michaela needs help. Michaela needs help. Somebody help Michaela. Cause Michaela needs help. Hey, what's going on, Scatterbrains? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scatter Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and I am here again to do a review for Married at First Sight Season 13, Episode 15. We did not start this episode until 10 o'clock Eastern. So it is 11:57. First things first, again, thank you so much and shout out to all these Scatterbrains who have purchased my Christmas wrapping paper. I know y'all gonna get tired of hearing about this, but y'all gonna hear about it till it's sold out. Thank you so much to those who have purchased it, and I see your comments that you've received your orders and that you're happy with it. That makes me so very happy. As I've said in plenty of videos, if you're interested in purchasing it, the link is down in the description. I still have a decent amount left, but yeah, so Christmas wrapping paper designed by me, link in the description. This episode was a little bit more interesting than last week. I was able to take more notes, but the majority of the video is going to be about Bonnie and Michaela. You know, I feel like they had the most going on, but I'm over this show. Again, I feel like it happens every season that I get to a point where I'm like, okay, why do I subject myself to this? Why do I subject myself to this show? I mean, I know I do it for my scatterbrains, but you know, I just watch the show like shaking my head like, some of y'all are just dumb. But all right, so what happened on this episode was, this is like after the couples retreat from last week. All of the couples were tasked with returning to their roots. In a sense, they were supposed to take their spouse like to a place from their past, like where they grew up, something along those lines, as well as write a letter to their younger self and read it to their spouse. So that was what everybody was supposed to do. For some of these people, I didn't pay much attention to their letters or where they grew up. I just don't care. Okay. But let's see, who can we start with first? I think almost all the couples, I don't want to say all, but I think a lot of couples met with Dr. Cheerwine. I don't think Brian did, though. I think that might have been the only couple who did not meet with, well, yeah, Brian and Rose might have been the only two couples that didn't meet with Dr. Cheerwine at some point in the episode. But they may have. Like I said, some people were literally putting me to sleep. All right, so Girla, they go to Gilbert's old hood. He tells Princess Myrla about the day his dad was killed, you know, what happened and all of that kind of stuff. And they meet with Dr. Cheerwine, and I think I was like dozing off because I didn't write out anything that they might have talked about, because I don't think it was anything that's new to us or interesting. Maybe you can find somebody else's review who goes in depth about whatever it was they talked about, because I ain't got that information. Sorry. Moving on to Rose. Short Jose takes Rachel to his the house that he grew up in, and he's like, so Rachel, this is not how. Why was Short Jose dressed like Waldo? I mean, he already short, but I was trying to figure out, like, out of everything to wear, why you got here look like a candy cane? You know what I mean? Maybe his shirt was orange and it just looked red on my TV, but I was like, you out here looking like, where's Waldo? All you need is a good old toboggan. You know what I mean? But anyway, so he was like, this is my house, this is where I grew up at, and you know, it's amazing, isn't it? That you see this is, I'm sure, Jose. But I didn't write anything down about what they were talking about. I was just looking at the way he was walking when they were when he was like showing her around the house, and I was like, sure, Jose got a odd walk. And I don't know if it's because he's short, but he almost walked like a baby who got a full diaper on. You know, like he walked like he got something stuck up in his butt. Like, it's hard to explain. Maybe because he's so short, he tries to make himself seem muscular and wide, so he kind of walks like weeble wobbly, kind of, you know. I don't know. But does anybody else? Never mind. Let me move on. The only takeaway for Rose is that Rachel, for whatever reason, knowing that Short Jose has a very fragile ego, she neglected to tell Short Jose that the night that he locked her out when they had gotten into that huge argument earlier in the season, we never knew as viewers where she went. We knew that she had called the other castmates and knocked on their doors and all that kind of stuff. But we never knew if one of them opened the door or anything like that. And just like Silk Sonic, somebody left that door open for her. And it was her ex. We found out tonight that that is where Rachel stayed. She stayed at an ex's house. And in my opinion, Rachel was wrong for that. Now, was Short Jose wrong for locking her out? Absolutely. But out of everywhere to go, you don't go to the ex's house. Like, I mean, I know there are people who are cool with their exes and their exes are like their friends, and you know, that's good for you. But you don't go stay at your ex's house when we have a falling out. Now, granted, he shouldn't have locked the door. We got that. But you don't go stay at the ex's house when you get locked out. That is just a no-no. Especially for somebody like Short Jose. Because when she said that she was at her ex's house, he shrunk 3 more inches. Remember, he shrunk 3 inches last time when she called him by somebody. Excuse me, that burp jumped right up out of me. Ooh. He shrunk 3 inches when she called him, and I got a sneeze on the way. I got a lot going on. Excuse me. Thank you. I know somebody probably said bless me, and I'm going to accept it. But he shrunk 3 inches last time when he was called somebody else's name. And I feel like he shrunk 3 more inches again this time when he found out that she stayed at an ex's apartment. And in his head, he's probably like, and when was it? Was he taller than me? Why'd you go stay? I mean, was he tall? I'm pretty sure those are the kind of questions that Short Jose was asking himself. But yeah, Rachel was wrong for that. And she was wrong for not saying anything until however many weeks or days it's been since all of that happened. I mean, you know, that's the thing. Like, when you do something and you're wrong, it's better just to go ahead and come clean than to sit there and just not say anything at all, because that makes things harder to get over and harder to help progress things in a positive direction. But they had that trust talk. His ego is bruised. We already know that. Yada, yada, yada. All right, we're going to go to Brian. I didn't start taking notes for them until it was her turn to bring him her pictures. Earlier in the episode, they went like dirt bike riding or something like that, and Ryan took her to the sticks where he came up in, and you know, out where he used to go kill squirrels and shoot squirrels and all that kind of stuff. But I think they both read their letter to each other earlier, but again, no notes. But I did start taking notes when she came to bring him her pictures. But before she could even get a chance to give him or let him see her pictures, she lets him know that she was contacted by a friend, and that friend says that she matched with him. And I think matching is Tinder. I think Tinder is where you match. But she matched with Ryan on a dating app, and that caused an issue, rightfully so, because number one, you're still married. Why are you on a dating app? He says he had downloaded it that same day that Brett is talking to him about it, and that he did not have any conversations with anybody, and that he was not active on the app. But he says, like, you know, I can show you, but I didn't talk to anybody. But I don't really know how the dating apps of today work. I have not been on a dating website. That's how long ago it's been since I've been in that world. It was websites. I don't think, were they apps at that point? I don't know, but it's been a long time. So I don't really know how that works. And from my knowledge of like matching with someone, like the swipe left, swipe right, whichever direction is for like, I like you, to match, wouldn't that mean that both people had to swipe that they liked what they saw? And so outside of what Brian has done wrong, I'm trying to figure out the friend. If you knew who he was, I would assume that you would know who he was when his picture comes up, because you have to swipe and say, I like it. Did you swipe to do that to be able to have the evidence? Because I feel like you could just screenshot and be like, hey, your husband is on a dating app. So did you swipe right because you act? See, that's the thing. Like, this episode got a little bit weird when it comes to these outside people and the part that they're playing, because to me, it just seems like the friends of people are just, they want the spouses. If any of that made sense. I don't know if any of that made sense at all. But like, why are you swiping right or left to say that you like Brian, what's his name? Ryan, when you know he's married to Brett? That didn't make any sense to me. But he ends up leaving, and he sends her a text, and the text pretty much says that he didn't mean for his profile to show active until after decision day. So it's kind of like, oh, I guess he was like, I'm going to go ahead and get my app together, my profile together, because I know that I'm going to say no on decision day. I'm going to make sure that my biography is popping. I'm going to make sure that I got the best selfies in the world. I'm going to make sure that my profile is so attractive so that after I'm done with Ryan, with Brett and her red hair, that I can go ahead and go find the blonde that I've always wanted to begin with. That's what I think his thought process had to have been. Why you couldn't just wait the 7 days? Because at this point, I believe they were like 7 days from decision day. Why you couldn't wait those 7 days makes absolutely no sense to me. And it's no excuse. He's just ready to be through with the process. And, he's just ready to go ahead and get him a piece of butt for after it's all said and done. All right, we're going to go to Bao and Johnny, better known as Bonnie. Don't have a lot for them, but, they are at a level 1, and I guess I'm still not really clear about what level 1 is, but Bao tells us that she's had level 3 conversations with strangers on planes that have been more interested in the conversation that she's having with Johnny. Up until the end of this episode, we weren't really sure exactly why Jack Skellington was so closed off, but we found out later. Bao talks about her childhood. Jack don't look like he's concerned. She breaks down her past. They talk to Dr. Cheerwine. And Jack Skellington says to Dr. Cheerwine, I don't think I've learned everything I can, but I've learned everything I want to. Pretty much saying he's through with Bao. Jack don't want nothing to do with Bao the same way Ryan doesn't want anything to do with Brett. It's the exact same situation. And they're there for the check. They're there for the contractual obligation. They're just trying to make it to decision day so they can say, I don't want to stay married, yada, yada, yada. Now, where things get stupid is we find out that Johnny has been having conversations with Bao's best friend named Sarah. Now, I don't know if we ever met Sarah earlier in the season. I never took notes that detailed. But according to Jack Skellington, he says that Sarah says that this is how Bao is in relationships. She's controlling. She likes to break people down so that they have to depend on her. And she's validating all of these things that Jack is feeling about Bao. And because of this information that he's gotten from Sarah, Jack is like, I'm done now. I don't want to continue this. He checks out after the conversation with Sarah. And I'm not understanding why Sarah or Jack felt so comfortable to have this conversation with each other. I don't think Sarah is a good best friend to Bao. And Jack is wrong for having a conversation with the best friend and your wife didn't know about it. I would not be surprised if, for whatever reason, Sarah wanted Johnny. Because you don't say negative things about your best friend to her husband with whom you haven't known for that long to try to make him feel better. That's stupid. That's dumb. And I don't understand how any of them think that this was a good idea. And Jack is really just looking like he's justified. Like he's got his stupid blank stare, that whole like, as Bao is trying to process all this information, And to me, he comes off like, what did I do wrong? And I'm just like, Jack, you can't be that dumb, but maybe you are just that dumb. Is this still recording? Am I still recording? Yeah, this whole thing about being out of focus, I hate it. It gets on my nerves so much. Thank you. But I just don't understand like how you can be that dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I officially do not like Jack Skellington. I don't like him. He can go. He can go back to Halloween Town for all I care. And we're gonna leave it at that. Now he eventually leaves. And we're moving on. Let's go ahead and get to Michaela and get this over with. So after Zack and his taco meat leaves the ranch, Michaela has been trying to reach out to him. Zack and his taco meat are not responding at all. So they end up having a conversation with Dr. Chirwan, and Michaela, I don't know if it was the wig this episode, but Michaela just was not making any sense tonight. Not to say that she's made sense, in the past. But so she tells us, I think she tells us, that she reached out to him, told him that she loved him, but it was radio silence, and that he abandoned her. And the whole time we were looking at TV like, ma'am, you told him to leave. You can't go. Leave now. Exit stage left. Peace out, homeboy. Bye. Get out. Jordan Peele. Like she told him to leave. Like that's that whole, it's a name for it, and the name ain't landing right now. That mental game where you say, leave, don't leave. Oh no, leave. So you just gonna leave me? Like that whole mind game stuff. Like ain't nobody got time for all that. So when they talk to Dr. Chirwan, Zack and his taco meat tells her that he called his ex-girlfriends to get their opinion, and they say that he tries to avoid things. And Chirwan just wants them to talk. He says he can't do it. So Chirwan suggests that she be the buffer. Like Zack talks to Chirwan, and then Chirwan relays the message to Michaela. Michaela talks to Chirwan, and then the message gets relayed to Zack and his taco meat. So that's how they're going to facilitate this conversation. So in this conversation, Michaela and her no-part wig say, Zack left her. I said, please don't leave. And he still left. And it has this abandonment trigger, which caused the big explosion that we all saw. She said, I love you. I don't want to lose you. And he has no response. And production runs back the receipts of everything that happened. And I'm just not understanding Michaela's perception of what actually happened. Like, how is it that you see all of this differently than us? And we weren't even there. So I can only imagine what it was like for the people who were there in person. But then she has the nerve, gall, and audacity to say he has no evidence of her reacting in a bad way to him. And at that point, I completely condoned Zack and his taco meat saying, you know what, I can't do this. I can't do this. Because how can you say he has no evidence when you are on a television show and the cameras were rolling, the closed circuit cameras were rolling, catching you flipping benches, knocking ping pong tables that haven't done anything to you, moving foosball tables that didn't do anything to you. You walking through the house looking like Michael Jackson in The Wiz, but you say there's no evidence of you turning up. Like, Michaela, what are you talking about? We saw it. And so when Zack and his taco meat said, I'm out, I was like, yes, Zachary, you get up out of there and you walk out with your taco meat. You are justified to walk out with your taco meat today. But and then she says he always does this. So she said, is it really me? In this moment, yes, it's you, girl. You and your no part wig. It's you. It ain't always you. Both of y'all got issues. But Michaela needs help. Like, Michaela needs help. Michaela needs help. Somebody help Michaela. Because Michaela needs help. That was just a free song I made up real quick about how Michaela needs help. Because she needed. But, like, the way she was talking, I was just like, I know y'all said y'all do psych evals, and I'm not a doctor. But are y'all sure she passed? Did y'all ask the right questions? Because what I'm seeing, it ain't making sense. The sense ain't sensing, as the kids would say. The sense ain't sensing. Now, Michaela tries to justify her reaction as saying that with the abandonment trigger, reminded her of her dad when he died. And I can't say that that is a false statement, and I would not dare ever make a joke about that. She says that reaction of the bench, the foosball table, the ping pong table, the get out, get out, get out. That was a panic attack. I ain't a doctor, but I done had a couple panic attacks. Y'all wanna know about the first panic attack I ever had? And I didn't know it was a panic attack at that time. 9th grade, high school. I was in Phlebas class. That's what they called it in North Carolina at one point. Phlebas was like the sexual education classes that they gave us. Phlebas is an acronym. I don't know what it stood for. And this was in high school, and they divided the guys in one room and the girls in the other room. And during this particular class, they were talking to us about how to check your scrotum for testicular cancer. Okay, everybody should be doing self-checks. It's October still. Want to make sure you're checking that area, ladies, and men, you should be checking your area down there for cancer. And they pass around like mock balls for us to do the test on. Okay. I had a panic attack when they passed me the nuts. I don't know why. I don't know why. But all I remember is they handed me the nuts and I was holding them and I was just like this is what I'm doing in high school, 9th grade, in my desk. Like, I remember I picked something up and I was like, and like I'm holding them and I'm like, and I had no clue at that time what a panic attack was. I didn't realize that was a panic attack until I became an adult and had another panic attack on an airplane to like LA or something like that. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what is this feeling coming over me? I got nuts in my hand. I'm supposed to be learning how to check for cancer, but my body is like flipping out. So, you know, I'm pretty sure people can have panic attacks in all kinds of ways. Y'all probably didn't even need to know that story. That probably wasn't none of y'all business. But I told y'all because I like to be transparent with y'all. But, you know, I've just never known anybody to flip out during a panic attack. It could be very possible, but that's just not what I've known of people in their panic attacks. But again, I ain't no doctor, so yeah, y'all go ahead and make y'all jokes about me and that in the comments, because I know y'all gonna get a kick out of it. But she says that's why she had that reaction. But she says she doesn't see what they could have talked about in the bedroom that would have made him leave. And again, it's kind of like, ma'am, you told him to leave. How's it you don't know what could have been said in the bedroom to make him want to leave? Because you told him to leave. Go. Leave. Get out. Exit. Bye. Like, you told him to leave. But later in the episode, Zack and his taco meat call for a closure meeting. And he says he's trying to be positive switch places. She shuts down. I don't know what any of these notes mean. I don't know. I don't know what I was typing. Dr. Cheerwine tells him to hold hands. And the dynamic, excuse me, it's just a cough. The dynamic between them makes no sense to me because the way Zack and his taco meat were looking at Michaela during this closure meeting was like, it was weird. It was almost like he wanted some. Y'all know what I mean by some. Like he was like trying to, like, I know you're gonna laugh. I know you're gonna laugh at me. I don't get they dynamic. I don't get it. And him even still talking about the whole, if we get divorced, we can still try to work on it. None of this makes sense. None of it. I'm over the show. I'm over it. Over it. I'm about to go upstairs, dye my beard, and shave it down so I can try to look nice for this little vacay with the wifey. It's our first couples trip. Uh-oh, I got another cough. That's not good. I'm coughing in too close. Like, the range is too close to be coughing back to back. But, yeah, it's our first couples trip, like, as adults. It's coming. But, it's our first trip as adults since before we had Tegan. Like, we have not taken a trip, just us, since Tegan was born. So this is gonna be fun. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I ain't even telling y'all where we're going. I'll tell y'all after we get back where we're going. But if you see me out in these streets, okay? So if you see me, you can speak, but don't be coming back to YouTube telling people what you saw. Okay? Alright, Scatterbrains, I'm gonna get off here, go make sure my bag is packed. And make sure I finish everything else that I need to do for the evening. Y'all make sure y'all rate, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode. Thank y'all so much for watching, sticking in there with me. It's a struggle, but I appreciate it. And I will be talking to y'all soon. Peace.